Welcome to the podcast, question mark. The track you're hearing is Falcon JD, no, not Falcon JDK, I've misnamed all the tracks for some reason. I'm a bit stupid. It's actually Falcon Sound Team, but this track is East the Oath of Felghana. Can't remember what number the game is, but the track is The Boy Who Had Wings. This track is just fun. It's pretty funky, upbeat, sort of epic as well. It's just such a good composition. I fucking love it. It's got great arrangement, also with violin and also electronic music as well. It just works really well. And it has some really catchy melodies in it, obviously. Yeah, I just love this track. There's a lot of tracks I like or rather from the Falcon Sound Team, and it's really hard to find one that I'd actually dislike because they are all just that good. It genuinely interests me how they even make these because it's incredible, and especially with the types of instruments they use. I'm wondering, are they real instruments or are they VSTs? If they're VSTs, I need them. I'll pay good money for it. Because the VSTs are just... yeah, they're really good at it. They are VSTs, obviously. Yeah, it's a great track. I really enjoy this one. Yeah, well, that's the track. So let's move on to the first topic. Well, this is kind of funny. I think gamers will appreciate this as well, because it is a funny topic, but I'm listening to Iron Maiden and I'm up to Dance of Death now, and it's quite interesting. It's very bizarre the cover they chose to make for this, and it's a great album so far. I'll do a tier list at the end. I found a tier list, so we'll do a tier list of every Iron Maiden album song. Well, it's based on the songs I've heard, obviously. Some of the results will be surprising, I think, for some, but I wanted to take a moment to look at this cover, this album cover. I can't even find a high resolution version of it. It's impossible. Oh my god, is it funny. Like, look at it, the Dance of Death, and it's got basically a bunch of people on the front. And this is the album cover you'll be looking at. Oh my god, is it funny. Okay, it's a better one by a rare vinyl. So I can't stop laughing at it. Like, not only is it just nonsense, it's also so bad. It says 2003, I believe, and it has like 3D renders of people, and they're doing like inhuman things. Like, where do we even start with this? Like, left to right, you got a guy in a pair of pants, wearing a bat mask. And you got a guy down below wearing a goblin mask, I think. That guy is I think that's a woman actually, but a dwarf. And there's a guy above that guy, the bat mask, who's wearing, I think, is that tiger? I don't know what that is actually. Then there's a woman behind there, I think. There's a woman with no bra, but covered, with just a random mask. I don't think that's actually any animal. Then next to her is a guy in a thong doing a handstand, and it's like submerging with, I don't know, that's his thing. I think that's a man, I don't know. And then next to her, obviously behind there is like Grim Reaper's, but that's another thing. Is someone in a mask with something around his head, and she's like next to Death. Death is just normal, like artwork. I'm guessing it's Eddie, because Eddie seems to be the mascot for Iron Maiden. But interesting is the most detailed one there. It's just really funny. And then to his right, there's another woman, but with another mask, another random type of mask. This is where it gets even more bizarre and worse. There's a guy next to her, a tall guy, I think. I don't think he's wearing anything, but is that got a goat head? A goat's head? Or a ram's head, rather, because the horn's been longer. It's so fucking ugly, and then below him, covering his cock, is another dwarf woman in a mask on top of a dog. It's fucking genuinely awful. It's so funny. The dog looks alright though. It's the most detailed dog I think I've probably seen from this era. But, oh my god, it's so funny. And then right at the forefront there's another guy. There's a woman actually. Notice the nipples covered in a mask and again not identifiable. It's like, I don't know what she's doing. And then behind her, someone in another bat mask. This could be a duplicate of the one on the left, but different colour, I guess. Oh, Jesus Christ. This is one of the worst album covers I've ever seen. Like, it's actually funny. I'm crying because it's that funny. Like, what the hell are you thinking? It's so weird. They're still selling this vinyl, supposedly. Which is kind of even funnier. I wouldn't want this on vinyl. It's a good album, but I wouldn't get it with this fucking cover. Like, screw that, the alternatives I've seen are better. But, you just have to see it, it's so fucking funny. I had to laugh at it a bit, because it just doesn't age well, and it just doesn't look great, even by the standards of this era. I'm pretty sure it's the same time that Shrek came out, maybe it was a year later. And Shrek had better CGI than this. Like, this just looks like someone went into Blender or something, downloaded a bunch of models and assets, and just stuck them around. Like, they didn't even need the humans, that's the weird thing. They don't even need the models, they just need to remove them and have Def there. Edif? I don't know. Defy? Let's call him Defy. Oh god, that's probably a slur. Not that. Scrap it. Abandon ship. But yeah, I just felt like mentioning this is quite funny. Yeah, so anyway, let's move on. Another interesting topic up, but it's more of a personal one, to be fair. It's just something not for everyone, but it involves travel. Because, believe it or not, there was a time in my life where I had considered becoming a photographer and just seeing sights, but not really a photographer as in doing it as a job, but rather a hobby. And I decided against it ultimately because there are too many complications. Also, why are there dust snakes on my table? Oh, it's probably because of my mousepad or desk pad. Anyway, I fucking ADHD TM. I literally cannot travel. Even when I've considered it before, like maybe going to a museum or going to a different city or something, like trying to discover things. I just end up stuck at the same place I'm always stuck at, which is, what am I to do with like these autoimmune issues? I think they're autoimmune. Is Crohn's disease autoimmune? I don't know. But it bothers me because, truth be told, I do want to travel, even though I can't afford it. I do like the idea of like being able to travel to places, and once upon a time that was what I wanted to do. But obviously I can't, because I have too many problems. To start with is autism. It makes me a bit awkward, and maybe it makes it more challenging to understand people and even get around the place. So immediately I'm sort of fucked by that aspect. I mean, even then I'm quite sensitive to smell and feel and whatever, like temperature is a problem for me as well. So even if I go to save somewhere that's warm, maybe Spain, I'm gonna struggle because it'd be too warm. Even like India, for example, would be too warm for me. So I don't really see any point in going, even in like the winter where it's supposed to be cooler. But I don't know. It's very strange to me. The autism does play a role into it socially and physically. So that already screws up plans, but then there's other issues that are piled on top of this. So ADHD, obviously, can be a mixed bag. It really varies depending on how that affects you, and it won't be too much of a problem, I don't think, for travel. But I will say that for the other issues, it's more serious. Autistic burnout, for example. If that happens whilst I'm on holiday, then that's going to cause problems. I remember as a kid I used to hate going on holiday because it just wasn't an enjoyable thing to do. Because I was often forced to go and I didn't want to go. If that makes any sense. Because I've been to different places before. I've been actually like the only time I ever went to another country is probably on a holiday with my dad's side of the family. Believe it or not, I even knew someone who had a fucking mansion, but it wasn't even filled up. But it's kind of interesting to see, anyway. I also remember that trip because I also got my really cool Lego racer set. I forgot what it's called actually, it's like a series. And they're those cool mini cars that you can build and they look great. It used to be in Toys R Us. Rest in peace. Yeah. But the other issues I guess cause more problems for me. So anxiety, I've got social anxiety disorder, which causes me again to be struggling in social aspects. I've got OCD, which also causes me problems. So if I go to a hotel and I see a bug, I'll be like, oh my god, this is fucking hellish. Like, even if I see the slightest thing wrong, it might just freak me the fuck out. Yeah, like, I've had that actually. I've been to hotels before, and they've been sort of dodgy. I remember, actually, it was like a caravan. For some reason, we went on holiday and we needed to live in a caravan. We tried a house first, a house place, but it was like really poorly kept and not clean. So we ended up arguing our way to a caravan, which wasn't better, but had better options, I suppose. Or it might have been the other way around, I can't remember exactly. It's quite hard to remember because it was so long ago. Also, the first time I had this sort of interaction with a girl, for some reason, this girl really took a liking to me. She was about 16 and I was 11. I don't know what happened, but we really got along. It was a very strange mix-up. I don't know what the deal with that was. It was kind of cute, though, in a way. But yeah, like social anxiety, big problem. It's more of a problem now than it obviously was when I was a kid. No doubt there were problems when I was younger. That's obviously pretty obvious. But OCD, again, nitpicking again, the thing with the caravans moving because of the problems we found. I think there were stains in the bedding and alcohol on the wall and stuff. It was quite horrific actually for what sort of place it was, and we're not even like lower class. Like, that's the weird thing. We're not even just on holiday for like the sake of it. It's to literally have a good time and have things go right. And you know, a lot of things went wrong for us with enough. There's even one that required us to go, like, well, not us, rather than my dad, unfortunately, to go many hours back to home to pick up fucking something, which is just, it's ridiculous. Because we forgot something somehow on this long trip. Like, there are so many things that go wrong, and that's also the thing that bothers me. Is the panic disorder also plays in here, and OCD obviously. Because one of the things I do, even when I leave the house, is I keep checking my pockets. I'm like, phone, keys, yep, wallet, whatever. Yeah, I got it. And I keep checking it. I have a habit of checking those things, and I'm pretty sure that's OCD because I keep panicking. Maybe I'm not locked in, maybe I've lost my keys. There's so much anxiety. I even check the tap multiple times in my own room. I have to do like a triple check thing to make sure I did it. So it's like I do something to associate with it. So like say 3 yeses, and then that also solidifies yes. I turn it off. I confirm that. And I look back. I think, oh, did I turn it off? Wait, I said yes 3 times, so I did turn it off. So that's how I try to anchor it, but even then it's still a problem. Because, you know, it'd be like, oh, I'm on the way to Greece or something, and as an example, it's obviously not real hypothetical. So I'm on my way to Greece, and it's like, oh, well, did I remember to bring my clothes? Did I remember to bring things that are necessary to me, like an inhaler maybe, and some other things? Asthma, I forgot to mention asthma. Asthma is a problem that I still get every now and then. It's not very common. I reckon it's also breathing issues that cause me issues. That's a sentence. Yeah, everything just plays a role into it being kind of hellish, and then I can believe one of the things that is also bad, and also just being in a country that I'm not familiar with is also weird, because you have to somehow communicate if you have problems. Like, how do I communicate my physical issue, for example? Like, oh, I've got Crohn's disease and I need the toilet really urgently, and they'll say like something in a language I don't know, which also I'll have to learn a bit of. And then they won't grant me access, and I'm like standing there waiting to shit myself because I can't get access to a toilet because of my Crohn's disease. So yeah, well, I'm going to be really uncomfortable being out and about because that's what it does. It's what struggle is. That really sucks, to be honest. Like, it really is a terrible situation. Because obviously I want to travel and even like get a drone and stuff to get obviously photo footage. And, it's just so many amazing things you could do. I could make a list of the places, like from the top of my head I'd love to visit. Greece, Switzerland, Finland as well is a recent one. I'll explain the Finland one. I forgot what it's called. Is it Resplash? Unsplash? Splash? I can't remember what the site's called, but I have an extension for Vivaldi, which shows the technically Chrome store, but Vivaldi, which shows a new image every hour or every day if you choose so, and it's based on the topic of travel. This one from Tablis, that's it. Tablis is the extension. But I got recommended one that was fascinating to me. I looked at it and I thought, what an unusual place. And I looked into it, and it turns out it's called Inari in Finland. I think it's Inari. On the history. Yeah, Inari. And I looked at the houses and I thought, those have got an interesting design. Because they're like circular on the end and they have a window in the roof. And I looked at the snowy landscape and thought, oh, I see. Looked it up and that's exactly what they're for. It's a fucking Aurora cabin, basically, is what they're called, I think. But there's not much information on them, which is weird. So, it seems like it's maybe a less visited holiday location, which is interesting as well. So yeah, like, I guess somewhere where there's Northern Lights is also a place I'd love to visit, and obviously a place like that, with the fucking view. Like, that'd be amazing, to sleep underneath an aurora, and then obviously look up at it, like as you're trying to sleep. It's like, wow, like, that's fucking amazing. So obviously I'd want to do that too. Other than Greece, trying to think where else I would like to go. Probably Netherlands. Netherlands seems quite nice. Seems like there's a lot of nice things there. Poland, I think I'd like to try, because Poland seems nice too. I don't know much about Poland actually. That's an interesting thing. Japan is a possible. What the hell? But that's like, I'm only on the fence because I've heard things about it that are kind of not savoury. Like, tourists are fine, I think, but they seem to take issue with politeness and whatever. So it's a bit of a wary situation there. It's kind of like, I'm not sure if I'd want to go there to do that, to obviously look around, go to Tokyo or whatever. But also I know that food options aren't very great there, because obviously it being a Japanese facade is not great, and then they try to westernise things, so maybe a main city is not a good idea rather. So like, bring all sorts of westernised things. So I've seen really bizarre things from that, and really bizarre names from it too. So it's probably not the best place to visit, in my opinion. Which is weird because even though I love anime and most things that come out of Japan, it's kind of like, what do I even do there? Where do I even go? It's sort of hard to say. Like, I don't think the Pokemon Cafe does like any options in terms of vegan. So I don't even know if I'd like to visit there. It's weird. Where else? Like, weirdly enough, I could visit the US, but obviously not in the current state. Because the US interests me in a few ways. I think there's some interesting aspects to it. Obviously, the fact that most places are quite local business friendly. As far as I know, they're quite good. But New York might be a great place, just for a visit, not a stay because it'd be expensive. Obviously, passing through different places and getting a guide for that, obviously, with like vegan options. A vegan guide, even. Like, hell, why not? That'd be great. So, America, or the United States rather, would be a decent option. Where else? I need to look at the map really to decide, like, Google Maps. Well, it's just fantasizing about travel, but again, it's like impossible. So these sort of places I want to go. Wait, does Sweden have the mountainous ranges, or is it Switzerland? I swear it's Switzerland. Might be misremembering. Let's see, what else is there? Go to Israel to take a dump on the street. Nah, maybe not worth it. Oh, Italy. Actually, Italy. It's quite nice. I've seen horrors. I have one actually on my wall. It's a poster. I can't remember where it is, but it's like got like a rocky sort of exterior. There is a place in France actually. I noticed France maybe. It's like a Mediterranean or something. I can't remember what it's called. So there's some place in France. Not really sure what there is in Germany. There might be somewhere to visit, but I'm not 100% sure. So it's kind of hard to say. I think what other places. Looking. I probably want to avoid Africa, to be honest. It's not because it's like the bad conditions and stuff, it's just too warm of a place and it might be too sad as well. Yeah, I think anywhere in the States or South area. I don't know about Canada, don't really know much. I think that's about it really, because I don't really know much else about everything else. It's kind of hard to say. But yeah, I do think that it's kind of a weird situation. Like, I really want to travel, but it's like I can't afford it for starters, and I can't feel well enough to go. It just doesn't work. And that always sucks to me. I just wish that things could be better here. I can actually do that. Maybe that's another place actually. There's places with the straw huts over the water. I'm quite interested in them. They seem very fascinating. I don't know where that is though. Might be Brazil, possibly. I don't know. Don't know why I think Brazil. But it's not really about visiting landmarks. It's just visiting landscapes rather than main cities and stuff. Because I just want to enjoy it for that. Like nothing else really. I want to see the views, to have photography, take pictures of everything, and take drone footage as well where I can. There's just different aspects of it that I can enjoy without also doing the things that tourists usually do. I just don't want to be a usual tourist, which people get fed up of there, I'm sure. And even then, I think it's quite exploitable as well, so I wouldn't want to go to the lesser known places. In fact, I did suggest to my friend once who came to the UK to visit a place more local to me, and it's like, you have to try this because London is expensive. And there's like no point in doing it because there's so much shit in there. But you might be better off in, say, this place because it has vegan options, it has like great options here and there, and better landscapes and interesting design. Because like people when they see London and the UK and think, oh, well, this looks like a shithole, very posh and sophisticated. But then you go out of London and you see that actually the UK has some really beautiful areas, like surprisingly beautiful areas. It's actually shocking that some of them look as good as they do. It's like countryside and yeah, like very interesting. So I keep forgetting to check how close is London to the sea. Maybe I need to look at that. Yeah, yeah. So kind of close. Like just a few like towns away, I think. Southend-on-Sea and Sheerness? What? Sheerness. Yeah. Yeah, there's like better places to see. Like, I don't know what's around London. I've only been to London twice, I think. Well, 3 times actually. Then once with family, actually twice with family, and then twice with school. I've been on the London Eye twice as well. Bit scary at first, but you sort of get used to it. You see how much there is around London. Yeah, certainly interesting things there. That's for sure. Uh, Zoo there's disgusting. There's probably much better places to go in the UK, like Bristol, for example. I've heard great things about from the Yogs. I've heard about Brighton before. I'm not sure. I think is it LGBTQ plus stuff. I don't know. Um, where else is there? I've heard a lot about Birmingham, but I'm not sure if it's good things. Yeah, it's not much better places. I've heard about Leeds. Yeah, Scotland. Oh yeah, I'd love to visit Scotland actually. I completely forgot about that. But Scotland seems like a pretty nice place from what I've seen. It seems like there's like mountain ranges and stuff, and it just looks very nice. What's Edinburgh like? That's probably what I've heard about most. Oh, hello, in the middle of a crowd. That's not good. Help, get me out of here. Why did it place me there? I'm pretty sure I placed my person up there. There we go. That's the ball. What the fuck is this dump? Okay. I wish I could share my coordinates. That's not a nice place. What about this view? This view's better. There's like a beach there, which is nice. See, like a bridge. So yeah, this would be nice to go on, I guess. You could go on the bridge, can you? Hang on. Is it on the water? It's on a bridge. Oh, it's got rails. Too many rails. This other one. This rails. I swear I've been on this bridge. What the hell? Let's see if similar ones in the UK around the place. Probably that. A bit miserable though. It's a miserable looking day. Yeah, like, again, this is what interests me. It's like the travel aspect. I think for sure there's definitely some places that are worth visiting, but again, I really want to, but you can't. It's just not possible. And it's really sad as well. You know, if I was in a better financial situation, it would be something that I consider doing for sure. And somehow have to find a way to get around. I might even have to get my driving license before it, which might be a struggle as well. So especially as I need specific driving lessons because of my obviously learning difficulties, which is another issue. Fucking hell, learning difficulties. So yeah, it takes me more to learn things basically. It's like a pattern to things that I need to recognise and properties I need to understand, and it's like it takes a while. That also complicates things. I just felt like sharing this because it really did make me sad. I look at the Inari in Finland and thinking, God, I wish I could be in a bedroom like that. Also just a place like that. I think I prefer the cold when you could get warmed up. I think that's better. It's nice and cosy, and you probably even get a bit more sleepy, to be honest. Obviously, you got the Northern Lights on top of that. Although you do have to worry about snowstorms, I think, possibly getting snowed in. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. So, Final Fantasy XIV, obviously. 7.5 patches here, and the dungeon is also out. And I just did the dungeon. It's interesting. I do find that there is issues with the first boss. I can't figure it out. Let me look at the wiki. So the Clyteum, yes, I call it that. Best name they've ever come up with. That's hands down. Dig that, maybe what? No, but I don't get the first boss. So let me look at the mechanics on the wiki. Eyes on me, party wide damage, which is pretty basic. I was healing, so I also need to switch class. What we're doing. Actually, I'm gonna go with the next class for PvP. So yeah. Sorry. Eyes on me, pretty basic. Petrifying beam. This is a confusing one. The boss will walk to the north or receive a temporary direction disregard and spawn a moving red cone away AoE. The attack will lock in when the cast spell fails, inflicting petrification to anyone in it. What? That's weird, but it says motion scanning of foes scanning for moving targets. That's the next mechanic, so what the fuck even is the petrifying one about? Directional disregard, like, is there a visual indicator? I can't figure it out. So, for some reason, wait, what? Was it taking me to position or something? I'm not here for position, what the fuck? Directional disregard? What? How's that even related? Okay, that's weird. But I don't understand what that mechanic is anyway. Motion sensor, pretty readable. I thought it was basically to do with looking at it, but it seems to be motion rather than looking. So it's scanning for moving targets. Spawns like unavoidable line AoEs across the area. Which tracker that'll do magical damage launch. And, yep, avoided that. Penetrating missile. Stat marker on a random player, dealing magical damage. Pretty simple again. Also use Petrifying Beam again, but combine several circle AoE telegraphs. Wait, really? Huh? I didn't get that. I don't think. That's confusing. Then there's anti-personnel missile spread marker AoE, which player dealing magical damage combined with motion scanner. What? I didn't get these mechanics. Hang on, something's wrong here. Is this a Clyteum, right? Yeah. I've got different mechanics. I got ones with, a purple marker above my head. We had to spread, I think, anyway. Was it this one? No, we had different stacks also. There's like towers and then a stack. But we didn't get the petrifying beam after that. And I don't remember there being a motion scanner. Oh, we did get a motion scanner, yeah. It's a play button, isn't it? So yeah, that was a weird boss. I didn't like it. Next is short. The ads are pretty irrelevant. Although the ads do hit hard. I don't know if that's because my tank had no gear or something. Given I healed quickly, it's kind of a bit weird. They start to hit hard the further you've gone in. Not that I mind that. It's a bit of fun as a white mage. It's definitely designed for white mage. I have to say that. Yeah, short, interesting design. Ripples and gloom, pyro damage. Multiplying flesh, boss begins spinning, telegraphed AoE becomes untargetable, and then it'll cast a bodyweight exorcism at the centre, which will knock you back. Pretty simple, basic vomit, faces one player in the front. I predicted that, and I was right. Bodyweight exorcism. This is a stack markers, I'm an idiot. Okay, I'm getting confused now. Dealing physical damage, multiplying flesh, similar to below before. But we'll dash twice through the arena centre. It's either mission, spread marker AoE, that's the one, and profane, stat marker AoE. It's pretty basic, and then multiple manipulatables, interesting. Not my favourite one. I've got to admit it. it's got some issues. Hang on, let's scroll down there for a second. So rubbish disposal, pipe-wide magical damage, first usage spawns a dangerous area around the arena, capacity into a small circle, yeah, pipe-wide damage basically. Void Dark faces one player doing it, telegraph frontal 180 AoE, which is pretty basic. I did predict it, but I just forgot to move, which is annoying. Scrap metal, spawn several line AoE telegraphs, summon multiple small and one large scrap pad. This one got a bit confusing. First mechanic fine, but puppet strings is where it got confusing. The boss will take control of a large ad, causing it to be telegraphed in a current way AoE. And puppet strings, the boss will take control of small ads, causing them to do late telegraph point blank AoEs. Gluttonous Fire, stack mark AoE on the healer, dealing magical damage. Scrap metal, similar to before, but now spawns 2 large ads in addition to possible small ads. Puppet pair, the boss takes control of all ads, forming a pattern of both conal and point blank AoEs. This was a confusing one actually, because I'm not really sure where to face with the large ones there. There's only 2, but it's still a bit difficult. I suppose you just have to find the empty spot that they aren't facing. That's probably the empty spot between the small ones. String up, players must keep moving when the castle fills, or they'll be incapacitated temporarily. Pretty sure I almost died on this, so I had to do a damage reduction on my white mage, which luckily made me survive. I had 30k health less, which was about 10% or 15%. I did almost die. I've saved it. I did die on the first boss, I forgot to mention that. But this boss I didn't die on the short, however. Anyway, Shadow Play, telegraphs magical AoE tank buster. Don't remember that. Puppet Mastery takes control of both ads, hits them airborne, rotate around the arena and do their respective attacks. Okay, that makes sense. Didn't make sense before because I was like, oh god, what's happening? Because I couldn't see a pattern. I think we've got 2 conal AoEs and that's confused me. Raffle Wire, spin mark AoE on each player, dealing magical damage. Stop the Puppet Mastery, okay. So yeah, overall it's an okay dungeon. Visually nothing special, music is okay. I won't say it's like the best thing. It's something definitely wouldn't complain if it appears in the expert roulette, but yeah, definitely not my favourite, has to be said. Anyway, let's move on and I'll talk about the MSQ/trial when we get there next, obviously. Well, it's night 2 of 3 actually. What the fuck am I on about? Night 3 of changing the routine, and I ran into some bumps with night 2. I didn't seem to get as much sleep as the night 4, so I went from 6 hours 30 to a whopping 5 hours. Yeah. So that demonstrates an issue, and then same day, yesterday, I had a talk with my doctors about my Crohn's disease because obviously it's still playing me up. And they confirmed that stress can cause problems with my my Crohn's disease, which ironically stresses me out. So it's like an issue on top of an issue. That's giving me more issues. So it gets very complicated. And I think this also explains the sleep problems, because the only way I could see this happening is even with doing exercise through the day, where my body needs to rest, in the night obviously. I think the problem is stress, and I don't think my sleep's ever going to go back to normal without at least addressing the stress, and that is basically the bare minimum. So I've done my best to try and see that things are being done, but I don't really know if it will be done. But also I've got an update on the Crohn's disease as well. I'm going for another fucking colonoscopy, which sucks. I think it's like a checkup, which is good, I suppose. But I dread the prep more than anything else. It also takes a bit of time too when you go. I think it's like 2 hours to 3. And the only thing that takes a lot of time is waiting, really. The colonoscopy itself takes about 10-15 minutes, I think, and then you wait for about 30 minutes or until you're awake, at least. I was awake through mine for some reason. I wasn't even really tired. I was just laying there like, huh, oh well. Literally did a selfie as well, because it's like, okay, I'm bored, let's do this. Actually I could do have been my Nintendo Switch, couldn't I? Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I don't know. Did I? I don't know. But yeah, stress is a big problem for me. I don't know how to do it, how to address it. I've tried stress sort of relieving techniques and it doesn't really work, to be honest. It doesn't do anything. Because I just find that it always comes down to my circumstance, my situation. So the things I need addressing, for example, are quite, like, technically minor, given that the biggest thing that it can do is rehome me, find me somewhere else to live that's more suitable. But even these small things I'm asking for just don't work, and it just really shows that there is really a big, like, I don't know what to call it, it's a mistreatment. It just doesn't really help. So, for example, the door I need to replace on the bathroom, I need to block up holes as well because I found a millipede. No, not millipede, a woodlouse. I only discovered that the other day. I looked up small shelled insect. First thing that come up, millipedes. Like, what the fuck is Dr. going on at this point? Like, that's not the same thing. And I discovered it as a woodlouse when someone posted about it on Blue Sky. Like, oh, okay. Like, thanks. Made me think I had a fucking millipede problem, you dumbasses. And that search engine probably needs to be investigated, but yeah, so it's very weird. But that just contributes to stress. I found 3 spiders in the last week, and webs everywhere in like the last 2 weeks. There's been a fly or 2 in here, like, actually 3. Managed to catch one, but other one I hit and it fucking flew away like a baby. I did that swirly thing, I don't know what the fuck that is. I think I hurt his wing, but and the other one I couldn't catch, I didn't know where it went. But it's so fucking annoying. Meanwhile, the entire month of like last month, no spiders. Like, this house is just fucked. I don't understand what's going on here. So like relocation is like the best option, as I said. But there's obviously a way that insects are getting in, and then see woodlouse as well. I don't know where they're coming from. It's just hard to figure out. I don't even understand where they are. It really annoys me. Because I really do need to figure this out. Because it is stressing me out. But actually, that's the other thing. My toilet keeps getting blocked, so I want a new toilet. Because obviously I need a bidet to clean myself, but also it keeps getting blocked. So I'm getting fucked over by that as well. And that's causing me issues. And I think I've also opened my anal fissure again because I was experimenting last night with a butt plug and got some, like, not good pain. But it turns out I might have made a fucking fissure, so I don't know. It's very weird. But yeah, also Crohn's disease keeps tricking me, so I don't know what's shit and what's gas. There's so many complicated issues with this. It's just fucking absurd. And I really just hope this fucking goes away soon, because I just struggle. I really do struggle with this. It does cause me a lot of physical issues, but also because of me mental pain. It's just, I don't know what to do. And people say like, oh, it's probably your diet, but it's not. I've eaten the same fucking diet for the last 3 years. I've tried different things. I've tried cutting out gluten. It didn't do anything. I tried having healthy foods. Didn't do anything. Like, it makes no sense. And no matter what I do, it just doesn't work. But my solution is not like the others, I guess. It's like the best way to describe it. Because I've also got other things going on which people seem to neglect when they discuss this. I don't know, issues are stemming to other things. So like the stress is stemming to, I don't know, autism and OCD. There's probably other areas where that's affected as well. Autistic burnout, obviously, still going through that. And I know I've got it when I can still wake up in the morning and think, what's the fucking point in living? So I've got it. I sort of woke up with a cold today, I don't know how. I didn't even contract anything, I don't think. Yeah, so anyway, that's about it, so let's move on. Okay, I need to respond to this bullshit. It's just fucking insane. So yes, I've heard about the was it golden green? I don't think that's the name, but I'll say golden green or something. But it's unfortunately 2 Jewish people were stabbed, and I think they're in critical condition. I can't see any sort of updates on that, so I'm a bit out of the loop in that sense. But there's been some comments around it, and these come from people in higher positions, supposedly. And I frankly think this is just extremely dumb. Just what I've read. It is so insanely stupid it makes Trump look smart, and that's saying something. So, let's see. First thing I saw, and the second to respond to, I haven't looked at it yet. It's a post by Julian Markham KC on Blue Sky. Is there any evidence that banning all pro-Palestine actions, marches, will reduce anti-Semitism, or is expected to do precisely the opposite? They say. But there's an image linked to this, and it's saying, go all out. Last night, Britain's terror watchdog Jonathan Hall accused ministers of falling short on protecting Jews on Britain's streets, telling Times Radio growing anti-Semitism in the UK was the biggest national emergency since COVID. The independent reviewer of the terrorism called on Starmer to take more risks, including by placing a moratorium on pro-Palestinian marches that incubate within them anti-Semitic or demonising language. What the fuck? Like, it's that first bit that really gets me. It's the comparing it to COVID. It's a national emergency, but this is frankly fucking absurd. Like, Jesus Christ. They don't even know what anti-Semitism is, oftentimes, when they're talking about this. Because anti-Semitism is discrimination against religion. Let's look it up again. Sorry, remind myself. Anti-Semitism meaning. You bless me, DuckDuckGo. See, opposition to or hatred of Semites, especially Jews. The word is also sometimes applied to acts motivating or evincing anti-Semitism, intense dislike for and prejudice against Jews. So, yeah, again, people do not understand what this is. But stabbing 2 Jewish people, who, by the way, only had that label assigned to them to seemingly put up views, because we don't actually know the identity, I don't think. It's just fucking dangerous. And news organisations are probably not even held accountable. Like, if they are Jews, then how do we know it's anti-Semitism? You know, if, I don't know, well, let's say a Jew suffers from a heart attack from the amount of meat he consumes. Like, suddenly are all farmers now anti-Semites? And even though I don't agree with farmers, Is that the logic we're going off here? So a farmer is now an anti-Semite because he killed a Jew with his products. Like, what are we even fucking doing here? And yeah, it's a different thing, it's like an interactive thing, but let's say someone accidentally ran over a Jewish person. Like, you could say that's anti-Semitism, and it's like, no. That's a more direct thing. Merely a mistake. But it's hard to really compare murder, because murder needs a motive for it to be anti-Semitism. Which is why I bring up those examples anyway. Because we're looking at the case of murder here. Or attempted murder. But for it to be anti-Semitism, it has to be about the fact that they are Jewish. Which we do not know for sure. There's been no confirmation on this. So, this is again dangerous, but the other thing here that's really incredibly stupid is it's a big national emergency. Like, what? Let me look it up. 2020 UK population. So, let's see how many people were affected by COVID. Let's see. Estimated to be 67 million. 67.1 million. So 67.1 million people are at risk of COVID in the UK. Compare that to anti-Semitism, which seems to happen either every other day or every other week. It seems, no, this isn't even a fucking emergency. Like, what the fuck are you on about? It's just baffling. And even then, you're trying to police like thought crime. So you're also trying to allude to the fact that people think about this shit and just seem to try and get away with it. I get distracted. There's a fucking noise outside. And it just doesn't make sense. It's like they're trying to make it out that you can't actually think of criticising religion because that's suddenly a crime just by virtue of criticising it. But this is obviously motivated by external factors rather than any sort of logic. If it was two Muslim people that were stabbed, I guarantee you nobody would bat an eye. Why? Because people are racist for starters. Secondly, they think that obviously the religion of Islam is inherently wrong or it's just dangerous, and so their own bias plays a role there, which ironically it plays a role here too. And people just wouldn't even give a fuck, they'd actually celebrate it. But nobody's celebrating the Jewish death here, and I just think the Jewish, rather attempted murder on Jewish people, I mean. But nobody's celebrating it. So what the fuck are you on about? There's a big national emergency. It's not fucking anti-Semitism that's the biggest national emergency, it's bloody corruption. Corruption is the biggest fucking national emergency we have. It's getting everywhere now. It's getting ridiculously dangerous to be around people, around existence, just because of the fact that everyone's so corrupted. And saying that Starmer needs to take more risks to place a moratorium? I don't know what that is. What is a moratorium? I've never heard of the word. A lawful suspension of the payment of certain debts during a period of financial civil stress. What? So he doesn't even know the words he's using. Period of which during which a suspension occurs. Suspension of ongoing planned activity. Again, what? So, suspend pro-Palestinian marches? Like, I haven't even heard of this though. Like, where are the marches? The only thing I've heard is protest, and they're already doing it. They're already arresting people for doing these fucking marches. So what are you even on about? It's like the guy doesn't even know what's happening in the UK. This is why these people shouldn't be in these positions. Not even doing the bare minimum research and grounding things in truth or reality. Just they use their own delusions, much like Trump does. And they're using that as evidence. And honestly, a lot of reform voters do this too, to be fair. So yeah, like, it just sucks. Just do my podcast thing and sing it. It's just so bad. What the fuck? Yeah, so let's look at this other post. So it says all racism is wrong, all stabbing is wrong. If Jewish people feel unsafe, they should look towards Israel for the reason why. I don't want them to be unsafe, but I don't want this either. And there's an image next, or two images, I think. Amit Halevi in a maternity ward, 300 terrorists were born. Interviewer, they're children, not terrorists. Amit Halevi, yes, terrorists. Amit Halevi is an Israeli Knesset member who called newborn Palestinian babies terrorists. Jesus fucking Christ. Are you kidding me? That's just fucking inherently evil. You couldn't even say that Israeli babies are terrorists because they will be born to kill Palestinians. Like, it's the same thing. Because you probably wouldn't apply that to yourself because you're not honest, you're not unbiased. So, you've already failed to make a sound argument. You failed to even justify this. And then you're not even explaining how they're even terrorists. So, children born in a ward like that, like, how are they terrorists exactly? Like, people come out of even abusive like relationships with family coming out fine, or worse. Like, it really depends. It's quite rare that you see someone turn out to be an actual like psychopath or terrorist. But with people who've been abused, they obviously have that trauma with them for life. So, again, this just doesn't make sense, even from a logical perspective. It's like you do not know how the human mind works. Literally in 2 sentences, or even like half sentences, you've already described how incapable you are of describing the human mind. So, yeah, again, another failed argument. And that definitely wouldn't stand in court, let alone international court. And that's the next thing. In 2025, UNRWA treated an infant named Sila in Gaza who was dying from severe acute malnutrition caused by Israel's blockade on food and medicine. Sila lived after receiving life-saving medical intervention, but many more Palestinian children haven't. UNRWA detects 135 cases of child malnutrition in Gaza. She's a Palestinian refugee infant living with her family in a tent at a displacement site in Gan Yunis, Gaza. Her family has been repeatedly displaced as a result of ongoing conflict. She develops acute malnutrition mid-upper arm circumference of 105mm. That is tiny as fuck. It's like almost your finger size. But in May 2025, which deteriorated sharply to 73mm by July 2025, placing her in a life-threatening condition. Yeah, they're talking about them being terrorists, but what the fuck has this baby done? Like, she's an infant. Like, she hasn't got a gun in her hand, she hasn't got beliefs. Like, by the way, they've even fucking started life, so what is this logic? It's so ridiculous. I'm not just looking at it at face value, I'm also looking at it from the point of view of, obviously, growing up. To say that they weren't in currently this situation, they're being genocided. Like, they're still not going to even grow up to be terrorists. There is no proof of that. As far as I know, even for how long this conflict has been going on, which by the way has been going on for over, I think, 50 years by my count. And last I sort of heard of it actually from, weirdly enough, South Park. That was about 20 years ago. It's like a random thing on one of the news stations on that show. They're like even reporting on this back then, like the conflict, but it's like not as bad as this. Yeah, just absolutely insane. We shouldn't have people like this in positions of power. It's just so fucking bad, and let's look at the comments. Like, saw something that's weird. Why don't you tell me more about what Jewish people should do? The fuck are you on about? What do you even mean? You should be speaking out against it. Like, Zach Polanski is a Jewish person. He's spoken out more about Israel and obviously speaking for Palestine more than anyone else I've seen. Any other high profile Jewish person. It's just really fucking bad. Like, it's so fucking mind-numbing. I genuinely can't understand how people like this exist. Anyway, that's pretty much all I've got to say though, but again the point still stands, there's no justification here. Or I can be convinced, like, not easily, but convinced either way. I just don't find it, I don't see it. It just doesn't seem to exist the way it currently stands. So, yeah, anyway, let's move on to the next topic. Well, I feel like reviewing this because it feels a bit necessary at this point. I've been using on and off a product called Fussy, and I have to explain a bit of a story before this. I have quite bad odour problems, not related to sweat or my arms, but rather my ulcerative colitis. And it's been problematic because it makes horrific smells that I can't seemingly get rid of. So I end up having to try and mask it with another method, because these smells don't go away, because ulcerative colitis, believe it or not, also makes me incontinent in the front end. So I also have leakage, which sorry for the graphic detail, but that is what happens, and I used to actually have leakage from the backside as well. Again, sorry. So I need something to address those problems specifically. And what I ended up on was interesting, because it turns out I should go change the vibers whilst I talk about this. Someone also noticed it's off, but anyway. I was looking for a product for a while that was good, that would stop me from, well, maybe having sweats, but also having smell problems, and smell problems were the most important thing. But because I'm bad with aluminium products, meaning the sprays, and also titanium as well, there's a titanium in that as well, that causes issues. I just can't tolerate those. Every time I've ever used it and every time I've been around it, I just fucking choke and get asthma. So it caused me really big problems and irritation as well. So I can't use them. So I have to rely on either balms or, well, roll-ons. Those are the only things that can work. And in my experience, roll-ons never work because they don't let out smell. Don't have a nice smell with it either. And balms are 50-50. They can work sometimes, but they can also not work sometimes. And also you need to use your fingers to fucking do it, which is a bit ew. But as long as you wash your finger, I think you're fine. So, in my research, I found a product called Fussy. This was basically a product where it had a case that you buy. It's like your, I don't know, we used to use it. And you had cartridges, which are for the deodorant part. And it's a roll-on, if you haven't guessed, or roll-on rather. And it seems like a good idea. Like, it's quite well done. It has a lid, it has a twisty thing to push it up, and also the way you fit it is quite simple as well. You take off the lid on the inside and you put in the the cartridge, and then automatically with the screw thing it will push the cartridge up and allow you to use it as a sort of a rub-on, I'd call it. I don't know if that's what the name is. And it's questionable after having used it for 2 or 3 months now. I'm simply confused. There's a fly there. What the fuck? Where's it even come from? I swear these things just randomly appear. So I'll explain. What's this? Can I see my products? I'm looking for the names of them, the flavours, but or the scents, whatever you call them. I can't seem to find it. It's weird. I'll have to log in. I think Fussy. Refillable deodorant. I'm putting on a fan. That fly got way too close to me. I'll log in, continue. Fuck's sake, it's taking a while. There we go. So yeah, to be fair, I've only tried 2 things, but I've got issues already. Basically, before I even got the product, the first issue I noticed, it was already loaded with something, or a free sample, I think. And was there nothing in my account history? That's weird. That's very strange. Apparently I never bought it. Subscriptions, maybe? No. That's weird. So I don't even know what the fucking flavours are. Okay, that site is fucked. What the hell? I don't know what that's about. Anyway, so the first problem is they're not labelled. The cartridges are not labelled at all. There's nothing on them telling me what they are, so I don't even know what the flavours are, scents, or whatever you call them. And that's already the first issue. But getting it into the thing itself was an issue at first, and then it sort of clicked with me, and it's like, oh, you know, it's just easily collapsible sort of thing. And you know, I used it, and this sample cartridge I got was not good. It frankly was shit, and that's probably the best rating I could give it. It didn't do anything nice. It had no smell, had no scent. It just tasted well. I'm not eating it, am I? I might be, but it just didn't work out well, in my opinion. And yeah, honestly, it did not ring well. It's just not good. So yeah, that didn't work out well, and I've used it over the past few months, and it doesn't stop me from sweating like they said it should, which I find a bit weird, because it didn't stop me from sweating, it still let me sweat. So I don't know what that's about really. A bit weirded out by the idea, but I was hoping it would maybe make me stop sweating. Yeah, like, it's very strange. What else was there? I think. So yeah, I finished that one. It turns out it's not all used up though. That's the problem. Because when it got to the end, it started to sort of crumble. I don't know what happened there. It was a bit weird, a bit jarring as well, because I was like, what? Where'd it go? It's not working anymore. In fact, it's on the floor, but there's still some inside it, and so it isn't even efficiently using it, which is the next problem. And for the price, actually I need to check that again, because I got just a normal bundle. But for the price, this is a really shit product. Like, what the fuck? I might as well have just gotten a balm, which is much more effective in my opinion, and smells better in my opinion. I mean, look, like, bundles, I guess. Build your starter pack, that may be what I did. So I got like the orange case, and then I got the scent pack, I guess. Give us a go, try 4. And then I got a bunch of different smells. Like, yeah, the price is bad. I'll just pick a few random ones. I'm pretty sure I got what's it? Forest Haze, maybe, because I thought it sounds a bit fancy, it sounds nice. I got probably Jasmine Bloom and Citrus, because I like citrus, and then Coconut Milk sounds like maybe what I got, maybe Cloud 9, I don't know. Yeah, I did try to look at the thing they used in it, so Yeah, I saw cedarwood, so I probably got that as well. But Jasmine Scents here, check out. They don't even show the price, which is a bit scummy, until you get to check out. So £32 for that, all not worth it in my opinion. Each cartridge is £6, which is like, given you could get balms for cheaper, that is ridiculous. That is not worth it. But anyway, so yeah, I do think there is a problem here with that, because not only do you not know the scent name, applying it and having it not be effective is already a bad sign. And I've already got 2 more to go, but this next one I use actually is effective, which is kind of a shame. It smells nice, it really lingers, it lasts until like the next day, which is the first ever time I've had that. Because every time I've ever used a deodorant, it sort of lasts about a few hours at most, and then it would just go away. But that's like really bad. So yeah, it's very strange in my opinion. They should have lasted longer. As in other stuff, but this lasts 24 hours, which is good. So I genuinely can't complain about that. It is objectively good. There's nothing else to say on it. But well, there is the issue that, yeah, this product just seems incomplete. For the price you're paying, it seems a bit ridiculous to pay this much for that. And you know, there's no name on it. Like, even the cartridges that they're advertising don't even have a name on it. Because I was looking all over the cartridge for the fucking name and I couldn't find it. It's like, where is it? And even with probably the receipt somewhere, which I think I have somewhere hidden, I don't know where though, it's not good. I just find the product very bad. And it makes me dread looking for another one, because I saw a review on this, I made sure that it may be a product I can use. Turns out not really. It turns out shit. So, I don't know, like, maybe this is like a call to change to a sort of, rather than deodorant, a perfume thing. Like, as weird as it is to say. I think perfume may be the way to go, even though it made me choke up a bit at first. But if it's like a balm form, then it's probably good. But I need something really strong. Just the issue that I'm having here. And even with this one that actually works, it's not like strong enough to overwhelm the smells that I'm experiencing. So yeah, I really do not recommend this product. It is bad. And it's also the case as well, I have to point out. The fact that there's no name on the cartridge, and the fact that the case is also a bit weird, like when you screw it, it's a bit hard to tell, there's no indication. By the way, it's got a lid and it's the same fucking size and look as the twisty bit, which I think is extremely stupid. It's a real design oversight. Like, what the fuck are you doing? But on top of that, it just feels like they could have done more. So other than changing the twisty bit to be different, so that the lid is obviously more visible, they could have also had a window to show the cartridge name maybe, or I don't know. Actually that wouldn't work because no, it would work. Because it's pushing the bottom up. That's what it does. That's what the twisty thing does to begin with. So yeah, technically you can have the name in a window to show off. Like, it's such an obvious choice in the case, and you know, if people ask you like what that is, or if they go in your bathroom and decide that they want to see what you're wearing, they can see the name, they can see what you're wearing, Jasmine Blossom or something. But no, I can't even describe the scents. I can't even remember the first one. This one, I know it smells florally, so I don't know, probably jasmine bloom, as I said. But it's one of the ones that came in the pack that I ordered, not a sample, I don't think. But yeah, I am not happy with this product at all. It's disappointing. It really feels like they could have done better, and even there it's hard to even identify a smell that I can like, or just maybe not feel out of place with, because it's quite unusual for, even though someone I identify as non-binary, but I'm more he/they, but I'm more biased towards like masculine smells. And even though I like feminine smells like this, it does make me feel a bit out of place in areas. I do feel a bit uncomfortable about it, and I feel like if I come across the wrong person, then I don't know, I might be beaten up, but they'll have a job doing that because they have to deal with 140 kilograms of muscle, it seems. But yeah, I don't know, it might pass me, call me a tranny or something like that, but I don't really care. Be their hospital bill. But yeah, I cannot get along with this product. I'm not chucking it away, I'll use it and then I'll chuck it, I think. Obviously I recycle it, as I do with the cartridges, but also recycle the case. But yeah, I'm really disappointed. I'm actually going to have to ask about this because it's really bothering me. So there's like, is there a Reddit for deodorant? Yeah, there is. I might ask about this. Ew, someone's gall there. Yeah, but this is genuinely a sensitive topic because I need such a specific thing that I just struggle. It's really annoying. Someone advertising Fussy, yikes. But anyway, I need to move on because I'm really behind today. I haven't even touched music. I've just been editing videos and talking, which is really annoying, and I keep doing this sometimes. I do though need to be doing it during gaming times, but I don't know. That's something else. But anyway, let's move on. Well, this is annoying and pretty much proof that my financial situation is absolutely fucked. So, I've made a list of things that are priority, as in to help me cope. And these are things that need to happen to make me less stressed out overall. And I've done some quick calculations. Admittedly, it's a bit hard to pinpoint how much it will actually cost. I should have put a range on it, as my mistake, but I did it based on sort of medium expensive, so let's sort of look through this. So first thing I need, my own bathtub, because I cannot stand the bathroom in this house, having to go upstairs and use it, and just hear randomly my housemate fucking laughing, or just making noise. There's also the other one as well, you can do it, well not laugh, but make noise. But I hear everything up there. I hear the kitchen, I hear talking, I even hear next door, which is unusual because you shouldn't be able to hear them. But no, they're so fucking loud you can hear everything. And to get the correct bathtub, it seems I need one that's like, I think freestanding. If I'm not mistaken, I think that might be the best course, possibly. But it's like the one that would fit in a small room, small bathroom sort of area, and I think that's probably the best option because it gives you leg space, not necessarily to move around, but to be able to sit down on the toilet and, you know, not have it in the way. So we're looking at like £400 for that. And then the next thing, which involves the toilet or the bathroom rather, is the toilet, and that's specifically having a bidet. But I basically need one that won't block itself, so I need to make sure that it functions that way. I said no blocking, and then it needs repositioning, and based on what I found of like a bidet toilet combination, it looks like it'll take about £500 to just get the toilet. I'm not sure about installing or whatever, same with the bath. This is sort of not in the calculation, but it's really frustrating because this should have been done months ago, maybe even a year ago. when the toilet blockaging started happening and my body was sticking to the fecal matter, because I can't clean it up properly. Even though I cleaned it up well, like just now, after we're going, I still smell it. So it's like, what the fuck? And even then it leaves like flakes, so I don't even know how to even address that. It's like, what the fuck? What am I supposed to do? Like, there's nothing there. Yeah, a bidet with a dryer would have solved this problem fucking years ago. I've said this, and I've been ignored every single fucking time. Anyway, the next thing that really annoys me, that needs prioritising, is there's too many entryways for bugs in this house. For some reason, there's like holes where the pipes are, and I think they are getting in that way. And basically the pipes are leading through the walls and going into the house. But for some reason this attracts all sorts of bugs. Spiders, flies, slugs. I think I've even seen snails in here actually. Remember actually they went in the shell. And obviously woodlouse. So that needs addressing, and I don't know how much that'll cost because I think it's just possibly expanding foam, but we might need a camera to just see where, a camera and a light rather, to see where it actually is, because it's in a, two of the spots are in hard places and the other two are quite visible. But the two spots in the hard places are like one between the toilet and the pipes, and the other is between, well, under the sink rather, and the sink has a cupboard. So something's going on there. I mean, there's also, wait, is there a fifth one? I think there might be a fifth actually, because yeah, I remember there's other one that's near the window. It feels like a way, because I've seen a spider actually get in to this like tiny spot somehow, and I come out to get a bug that just fell on it when I opened the window. I was like, what the fuck? It's so weird. What a strange scenario to even discover that. I wouldn't have known if it wasn't for that. But yeah, I'm not sure what that cost. But the next thing is the toilet door, because I need a new door for this bathroom. It's fucking annoying me. I've probably explained it before, it's a folding door. It's absolute shit. The doorknob keeps catching on my buckets, and I also just find it incredibly annoying because it gets stiff, it gets really bad, and it doesn't even close properly. There's still like a gap where the toilet is, and it lets in every fucking insect imaginable. Like, what the hell? It's so bad. Like, I don't know how people even design things like this. There's so many damn oversights on, like, just in this house. It's fucking nuts. Like, even the sink pressure outside, I've just stopped caring about it. Whenever something splashes on the back of the sink, I just don't clean it up now, because they have to fucking learn not to remove things I put there to stop that from happening. Like, hello? It doesn't take a fucking genius to figure out the reason a towel is there, the reason the sponges are there, old sponges for that matter, is to soak the water that splashes from the high pressure tap. Like, nobody uses their heads. It's fucking nuts. And even then, it could splash even as far as the outlet. So there's already a risk there of fires and even just a trigger switch. I don't know what you call it. It's just ridiculous. But then the next thing is more anxiety related. So, well, technically all that is, but again, it's priority. But this is why the suggestions are weird. So I got here Nintendo Switch 2 because I want to be able to play more games and obviously be up to date. I want to try potentially Pokemon Champions. I also want to try Pokemon Scarlet Violet Legends DA maybe, I'm not sure yet. But then the next core game, which is Waves and Wind of Waves, which might be worth a shot, hopefully. Have to wait and see with that. But there may be other games I want to play on there as well. I don't really want to play Tomodachi Life. It's not my sort of thing, I just enjoy watching it. Because I think people sometimes have a bit more of an imagination and audience as well to do that. I don't even know who I'll put in there. Like favourite characters, I guess. Femboy Club? I don't know. But that's going to set me back £400, so that's an extra 400. I'm making this as I go along. Why is it just 20,000? What the fuck? It's not right. I could just do it manually. Plus, the fuck is going on? The calculator is so bugged. It's so bad. I'm not sure what they've done to it. Next thing is air purifier, because I was asking about the smells from the house, because this causes me stress. And the smells. Yeah, I forgot to add that. And also, it protects me from allergies, which I'm allergic to dust, but I only get it sometimes. And it supposedly helps me with asthma, so that would be a benefit. And that's going to set me back £300. Like, you might be wondering why, how? Because I want to get a small one. Because I'll forget to do it sometimes, and it'll just annoy me. But also, it just would be handy to have one anyway. Just that turns on automatically, so I don't need to just manually do it every time. So a small air purifier with HEPA is probably the way to go. It's worth a try anyway, even if it doesn't work, if it blocks the smells only. I might just put it in the kitchen, because that'd be handy to have. People just turn it on when they're cooking, even when I'm cooking, and that'd be that, really. Be pretty much a fucking saviour. Because even then I don't even like some of the smells my cooking makes. It just really says something about my sensitivity. But that'll cost about £300, I think. Yeah, so that's a lot, again. So the next thing is more niche, and I don't know how easy it is to address it. Basically, the aircon I've got at the moment is a portable aircon. It currently doesn't do too much, and even when it's like a really hot day, it just doesn't do a job it's supposed to. And even then, I have to have it on for like a few, like half an hour maybe, before turning it off, because it sometimes gets really cold. It's actually kind of insane, and I'd rather have a proper aircon system where I can have both the warming aspect and the cold aspect. So yeah, essentially it's like a dual system, and to not be able to not have to rather open my windows would be fucking great. Sometimes summer can be annoying for that, especially with my computer so close to the window. It would be handy to have that. But the only other solution to this, and also the split aircons, I think they're called, go from like 500 to £1,200, maybe a bit more. That's the only one I put a range on, so I guess the average would be about it'd be £850, wouldn't it? Yeah, that's like £350 difference, so it'd be £850. God, I still have it. Maths, that's weird. I don't expect to have that, so that'll be £850, please. Yeah, so the total then comes up to £2,500 to address the problems, but then there's also like the assembly thing, so I don't know, it's probably about 1,000. Not 100, I mean. Probably not too much. But yeah, like, it's really weird. So it's going to be a job and a half, I think. But assuming then like I can't get an aircon, I can get a cheaper one and replace a part of the room that needs a replacement, because the windows are kind of shit. But the problem with aircon at the moment, the portable ones at least, is there's no way to direct it out. Because there's no fucking add-on that actually does its job, that works. Because for what I've got a massive fucking window that hangs out, and well, swings out rather than slides, which a lot of portable aircons need sliding windows. They don't, by the way, but they are better with obviously a sliding window because they're built for that. But anyway, I can't even fucking direct it out, so it's even more difficult. It's just so bad. If it had that add-on as well, the necessary add-on, like I don't know, like some sort of adhesive thing that allowed you to zip it open and close on the door, then it'd be far better. Like, it's fucking insane to me, as I keep saying. But they don't have an option like this, and I've looked everywhere for this, and I've asked around for this. It does not exist, so portable aircon is like a no-go until I can replace either the windows or find an add-on. There's no way I can use it other than that. So it's why it gets costly, and these are niche things, they're very specific, but they address problems that are very crucial to me. In the summer I can't stand the heat, so I need something to help me cool down. And part of this actually was the chair that I got recently, so that's like another £1,300 on top of that. So I've already spent a portion of the money that I need to get these problems solved. But I still have to wait. And I've also got the stress of needing to get the other things that would make my life better as well, like VR headsets and stuff, but they're not priority. And even like a new bass guitar, not priority, but it'd be great to have one because you never know when they're going to be gone. Especially the one I'm looking at. It's bloody Ibanez EHP, I think. Yeah, that's not good. My heart feels a bit iffy. I'll try to ignore that, but yeah, things are just getting really stressful, and the cost of it is just piling up. I really wish there was more that can be done, but I don't see that there is anything that can be done. It's so fucking complicated. I hate this situation. It really is awful. I just don't know what to do. And you know, you could say like get a loan, get a thing, you have to pay it back over time. But the problem is I need to buy other things in between, so this money might not seem like much, especially with the amount I get paid. Well, it's not much to be fair. I can only say it's like, I'd say like 6 or 8 months payment off. But it's not good enough, and yeah, it's just real annoying. Only get like under 1,000 worth of spending that's actually for whatever I want to. But it's just really bad. So yeah, I don't know what to do. Like, I could say this is a call for help, but I don't know. Even then, the best case scenario is just to find a fucking house I can live in on my own, out of the way of everything else. And that's even with issues that need to be addressed. Like, bloody hell, I can probably get someone in to inspect the house, for example, and that'll cost money, obviously. But then get the relevant people, ask about who I need to get this done. So it could be like, oh, we found this mould in this cottage you just bought. How much is a cottage anyway? English cottage for sale. For Slee, yeah, why not? Is it cottage or is it? These don't. Am I misinterpreting what cottages? Some of these are not even cottages. That is a cottage. So it looks familiar. Like being there on holiday? That'd be fucking weird because we did go to a cottage once, or a hostel rather. Lived there for about 2 days, just for fun really, as a vacation thing. As a family, as when I was a kid, and where my friend masturbated and used my DS after. Yeah, that was fun. Burn it. Yeah, I don't know. Like, just like a small British place, and also need internet access and electricity. But if I can other places like out the way in the countryside, plenty of foliage around, it'd be a dream place, but it'd also be the most quiet, I think. Even if it looks like this place, which looks almost like a prison, but still be better than nothing. Oh, a sky window, that'd be amazing. Yeah, just things that dreams are made of, I suppose, but either way. I think if I did get a new house, I'd have to redo all the furniture, because I want it to be more fancy like that. Modern house, modern furniture, old house, old furniture, that's pretty much how I go. Yeah. I wonder how you can get an old desk that's like this size, 80 by 160. That's what I got at the moment. Because that'd be pretty crucial, I think. Be handy to have. It'd be cool. And also, I need to try and make hardware that's a bit like that as well. Yeah, but that's about it. So let's move on. Well, here's another thing to talk about. I thought there's nothing else. So apparently, anime streaming sites are dying, and it's not what I was expecting actually, but it's more to do with the sites that offer it for free, and it's quite worrying because depending on what the show is, what the anime is, wherever it is, sometimes the only place you can access it are these sites. So what they're doing is effectively censoring media rather than taking it down for piracy. Because I've had this scenario before where I've looked for a specific anime, searched everywhere for it, and it only appears on the free sites. Guess which anime that was? Old Taxi. It's the only one offering a dub and the only one offering the anime itself. Guarantee you, if I look out now, you're probably still not going to find it because it's such a rare anime. Old Taxi, let's see, it says it's on Crunchyroll, but it wasn't when I checked. So they're already quite behind on it. So it's just like, what the fuck? Like, what are you doing? It genuinely makes no sense. So they do have the episodes now, but they didn't have it when I first looked for this. It's just ridiculous, in my opinion. But then there's the other issue where, much like other streaming services, they're all spread out so much that you can't actually justify subscribing to multiple at once. So you end up having to do something where you end up organising them into, well, a specific category. So say there's one streaming service that offers all of this. Let's say it's like One Piece and I don't know actually, like, what else does Crunchyroll do? It's been so long since I looked. Obviously on Taxi, One Piece, maybe Fullmetal Alchemist, My Hero Academia I'm pretty sure is on here. Spy X Family, that's another one I found here. What else? Yeah, My Hero Academia, so, and Solo Leveling. Not saying I should try and but, you know, for other places, to find other anime, you need to go fucking elsewhere. To find Demon Slayer, for example, I think you need to go to Netflix, which is ridiculous. So, already you need to branch out for another subscription, but even then, this is the other thing that gets me. You know you want to watch One Piece. Well, they don't have the movies. As in, if you want to watch the series, basically all of One Piece, but you want to watch the movies as well, good luck finding it. Because they don't exist. The only place you can find them is free streaming sites. I know that because I once again had to fucking do that myself. I had to find these things somewhere, find the movies, and watch them that way. So once again, you're offering an inferior product and then taking down the ones that are superior. Which just makes no sense. But like, the best thing you could do in the end is, instead of doing the streaming service shit, why not ask for a cut of the revenue? Like, instead of taking them down, ask for a cut of the revenue that they're making from it. So when they start adding advertisers, obviously, or adding subscriptions to the free sites, supposedly, you should literally just ask for a cut of the revenue, and that solves the problem. So instead you have this middleman, which has its own issues, obviously, but you're still profiting from it. So, you know, you just make an agreement, you be sensible with it, rather than this absolute mishandling of a situation where you aren't even offering the full thing. It's like, I'll try again. One Piece movie. Nothing. Nothing shows up. Like, it is so bad. What the fuck? So, yeah. Like, it's already so fucked. And what about, like, Studio Ghibli? Where the hell are they posted? Studio Ghibli. Oh, they're not on Crunchyroll. Wonder where the fuck they could be then. Let's look it up. Studio Ghibli. Can't find anything. That's a Japanese site, Ghibli JP. Wait a minute. Do they offer it? Also, I'm fine with like first party. I think that's fine. Can't read that. What's the translate button? Yeah, I don't know. But it has to be somewhere. It can't be nowhere. The only place like you can watch these is like where? Where do you even find these to begin with? I'm struggling to understand the logic here. Because you're taking these sites down, which offer a solution to the problem being, you can't find these anywhere. Like, am I missing something? Or is that fucking stupid? Like, Studio should be streaming. Let's see what comes up. Netflix, right. So that's more like it. And what do they offer for the latest one? Yeah, a lot of the ones I've seen, yeah, they do. The latest one, which is good. My fucking god, like, why is it so stressful? To a certain extent, it does incentivize another thing, where when they remove streaming services, we're instead going to get a case where the piracy takes it to the next level. Well, it's not piracy, but, you know, they take it to the next level. As in, they subscribe to all these places, they do a search with a bot, and then they give you an individual sort of streaming outlet. So they're all subscribed, but you obviously pay, like, for their service, so that they can pay for the subscription. And then they stream it simultaneously. So like per account. Or maybe there's just a service that searches for all of it. But like, that's my problem. I can't put in a list of my things to watch and find where to stream them. Let's look at my list here. So I've got animated movies in order. I've got Guardians of the Galaxies, Zootopia, and then TV shows like Fiona and Cake, Yamona, whatever that was. Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers I want to try. Something that came on the radar was quite funny with the Sonic reference and that. The Ugly Sonic, I mean. And there's the Incredibles series I want to rewatch. I haven't seen them in a long time. So memed on. Metalocalypse, like Army of the Doomstar, Love, Death and Robots. And then Fantastic Mr. Fox the movie. Wallace and Gromit Curse of the Were-Rabbit, Metal of Life and Death I want to rewatch. Bob's Burgers as a series. So I didn't label Wallace and Gromit as a movie. King of the Hill reboot, got to try. Then the movie Nausicaa Valley of the Wind, and then movie Project Echo. So, those are all the animations. Actually, for some reason, yeah, animation. It's not even like strictly anime. That's the thing. Speaking of which, I need to move up because I've got an anime list, but I want to find these. So, what if I search them in .go? Let's see what happens. It just shows up with the first thing I typed. So what about streaming service search engine? Like maybe that's something to look at. So streaming service search engine, Netflix, Disney Plus, Hulu, Prime. Let's see, can I put in the list? That's the first thing. No. In fact, they cut us off after a while, which is a bit stupid because names are longer than that. Game over Nichijou, which is the first thing on my anime list. Next is Nazaki-kun, whatever that is. Can't remember what these are. So that shows up. So if I also go, what about a more niche one? Let's see. Avatar Last Airbender. Yes, it's on the list. So, is that right? That shows up, but also what does it suggest anyway? Where to watch? Continue without. Sub, dub. Wait, there's no dub? But there are dubs for it. This is on TV all the time as a fucking kid, and it was dubs. I'm confused. This is by region. Canadian, Australian, New Zealand. Oh, it's also showing region. Actually, this site is good. But it shows you where you can stream it. It says Netflix, but I'm not sure if it's the right series. It says 2005 to 2008. Maybe it is, because it was on at that age. Yeah, the fact I can't look at a list is like ridiculous, because I want to compile a list of where each thing is. Like, create a list, like, okay, that's interesting. I'm going to check out this site, I think. It's called realgood.com. Don't take my word for it, but yeah. Again, it's kind of bad news because it really complicates things. Like, what about the One Piece movie? I should have looked at that. One Piece. Let's see what comes up with that. Oh, holy shit. Hang on. Yeah, One Piece Stampede, yes, that's the movie. Not sure if the others one there. Heart of Gold, Straw Hat Chase, what the fuck is that? 3D? Eh? Film Z, yeah, that's a movie. Because of Sacred Souls. Sound familiar? So that must be a movie. The Gold movie is good. Adventures of Nebula Landa. Like, yeah, ironically it says unavailable in the United Kingdom, which I had a problem with before. It's only streamable in the United States in the United States version, or the dub rather, for some reason. So you also need a VPN to fucking run this, even if you do go to the streaming services. Like, I won't fault streaming services for reliability, but Jesus Christ. The other part of reliability is that it needs to be available. That's part of the reliability. If it's not available, what the fuck do you expect us to do? It's just so bad. I genuinely don't understand it. Yeah, like, what the hell? It's just super confusing, as I said. But I do need to look into the site, because it might offer a solution to the issue. And also might be a way to get things listed. Like, assuming the list thing, when you create it, it shows you where streaming services are for it, maybe in a icon sort of thing. But yeah, not really much else to say on this, to be fair. That's pretty much it. It sucks. So let's move on. It's also got Twin Peaks. Well, this is kind of depressing. Yeah, I opened a salad earlier, so I only really get either the bag stuff or the box stuff. Well, plastic, unfortunately. Still waiting for the paper alternative. Fucking hell, my headphones won't go on. But, you know, because it is salad, it has to be washed. And this one didn't have anything saying ready and washed and ready to eat. Which is confusing, because I've never seen that, and it never stated on the back. It's a Waitrose one, by the way. It didn't say on the back whether you needed to or not. So on the safe side, I wanted to. So I put it into a sieve, and what do you know? There's a fucking snail shell. So, some snail met their fate there. Which is... it's sad, but also I'm just disgusted as well. Because the reality of it is, I just can't handle foods when they've been not necessarily contaminated, although they can be, I guess. But it's when it's been touched by another thing. Like, I've had insects touch like a bit of my food before, and I've literally had to like get rid of that bit of food, even if it's a big bit. It's like, you know, it's better that than anything else. And you never know with like flies, for example. They could be obviously landing on things like dog shit and old shit and stuff. That's generally why it's like unhealthy to, you know, have eating stuff that flies a bean on. It does have many issues there. It's carrying bacteria and God knows what, like worms. Like there's probably worms on it as well. But somehow, anyway. But yeah, this was sad, and luckily we have a composter. But Jesus, I just feel a bit devastated and also put off salad now. I used to get it regularly because I thought, you know what, I need some leafy greens. It's part of the daily dozen for obviously Dr. Gregor, but it's not worth it in my opinion. I'd just rather stick to beans at this point. Do like beans a bit more than salad, and then I do like lentils a bit more than salads also. So I'd like rather have them as my main food. It's also quite safe as well because I think even for people with food, especially the red lentils, they're actually really tasty. And they're really good as an alternative to something like mince or anything sort of beefy tasting, or even chicken in the case of like butter beans. Like butter beans are actually really good for alternative. I tend to have it over tofu. So that's testament to how good it is. Even then, tofu is nice as well. I mean, but yeah, it's just it's really sad and really frustrating as well. It's like a waste of money too. Is so weird. I don't know why they don't have any sort of like regulation there. Because it genuinely feels like this is avoidable if they had like pesticides. It wasn't organic, that's the thing. This wasn't organic, so I don't know if a pesticide would have even done anything or what. But I've had it in peas before, like Grower's Harvest from Tesco, but I found like a shell in there once. I just don't understand how it keeps happening. In the years I've been consuming this food and stuff, and these same products, not necessarily same, they're actually both new to me, but I used to consume pretty basic things before, like frozen mixed veg, and that never has any in it. So I don't know where it's even coming from. What's happened there? So I'm just really confused about the idea, like where the fuck are these insects coming from? And then my OCD of course is playing up. Got food in front of me, it's only the bits I was able to cook, and then I put up some sweet corn, because it's pretty much the smallest thing I had that I could have for this. The salad doesn't really do much really. It's not calorie full, it's not nutrient dense either. It just does some advantages, and I think it's fibre as well. I'd say okay, if it was to compress salad, it'd probably be as small as like a can of peas. At least a salad that you get like mine. That's why people tend to eat a lot of it anyway. If they are eating salads, it's because it's not nutrient dense. So yeah, what do I even add here? I don't think there is anything to add, to be honest. It's just one of those situations I feel sickened and frustrated. I really wish that there was a solution to this problem. I really wish that I could have even eaten a salad, but I can't. To me, washing it doesn't do anything, because the snails leave behind a trail, and that snail shell's probably been in there for a few days. So like, what's the fucking point? And also going like brownish as well, so like what? You can't tell me to eat fucking salads, it's insane. It just looked like it was going off anyway, so why not? It had the date of the 2nd of May and it's the 30th of April today. Yeah, as I said, it's just really sad and really frustrating. I genuinely do not understand it. It's very weird. Also, I'm kind of entertained by this PvP guy. Come to the top. Anyway, I better move on and eat because I'm a bit hungry. I'm not actually too hungry actually, it's weird. Usually I'm very hungry at this point, but no. Might have been because I had tofu last time. But yesterday yeah, it's very weird and very sad, as I said. I genuinely don't know what to do about that. It's one of those things. Um, oh, seen run away. Anyway, let's move on. Trying to talk about this now, but about 2 hours ago, I think I had one of the worst waves of, I think, mania, is it? The one where you get depressed, but this is related to autistic burnout, and yeah, this feels horrible. Also, it's really hard to even lift my spirits with that. And obviously, with the salad thing, that I talked about before this, with that making me depressed as well, because, well, sad when an insect dies, or snails, obviously. But yeah, I guess other things just led me to feeling depressed because I feel bad about obviously buying this salad. Well, technically I didn't buy it, it's the other thing. It's bought for me, and you know, it's obviously going to the composter now. And yeah, like, what do I even do? I hate wasting food, and that guilt obviously gets to me because of what? There are people fucking starving out there, and yeah, OCD just really overrides everything. It's so destructive, I can't fucking cope. It's so horrible to be in this sort of scenario. OCD is really widely misunderstood because, you know, in school it used to be like, oh, well, you know you're OCD if you like things neat and tidy, which is only part of the story. But OCD, as the name implies, obsessive compulsive disorder, it's when things get really overwhelming and obsessive. So it's not just those things, it's everything else with it. So say you maybe have a habit of, I don't know, sniffing things. That can be a sign of OCD if you keep doing it. I know I certainly have some weird habits, but it's definitely linked to OCD. There's no other way it couldn't be. But yeah, that's to describe the symptoms of what happens in burnout when I get extremely depressed. Start having thoughts like, oh, life isn't worth living and there's nothing to do. There's nothing to do anymore. And it's quite overwhelming because it also makes me feel physically weak. Like I lose the ability to lift things, I lose the ability to walk properly. It gets extremely overwhelming, and I don't know if maybe that is autistic burnout, but with stress, I never know. Stress has also impacted me at the moment. But then I get overwhelmed by all the things that are going wrong in my life at the moment, and that has an extreme weight to it. So I don't know what the solution is again. It's just confusing. Um, I have more to say, I can't remember what it was, so. Yeah, because I was like browsing a bit and things can make me sad, but sometimes it doesn't. I tend to have a tough skin at most times, but when I'm in this state, as you can tell by my voice, it really changes things. And it's actually so overwhelming that I forgot to mention this, but I literally am on the verge of tears. Not at the moment, luckily, but I was very much on the verge of tears when I was in this really depressed state. It's just so horrible to be in that way because you just want things to go well. They don't because life sucks and people just don't really want to help you, which is really disappointing. So I end up struggling as a result. Like I'm stuck in this situation with no way out. It's really means that life sucks. Only today I made the list of priority things to do, which as I said, take up to a total of £2,600 to do possibly the entire thing. But yeah, it's super overwhelming. Training noise here. interesting. Yeah, but it's something I wanted to share because I think a lot of this goes unnoticed. I'm also starting to lose the desire to do things. I was due to do some artwork because I also need to start something new now. I've done the Cause Roots one. That's pretty much the first bit of set done for that. I want to make a wallpaper of basically my Final Fantasy XIV character next and doing something creative with that. Yeah, like, it's just real shitty. There isn't really much else to say on it. It's just a horrible scenario. I wish it'd be over and done with by now. I wish it could be over and done with in seconds rather. I even had an ice cream to sort of cheer myself up because I have heard people say that ice cream sort of helps you cheer up, but I don't know. I don't know if it did that for me. I don't know if it's something to do with like the stimulus, or maybe the cold makes you more aware, as it tends to do anyway. So it's like the is it the Hoffman technique? Is that what it's called? I can't remember. I suppose it is a little like that. Just yeah. Don't really know what else to add, but just felt like sharing this. That's all. So let's move on. So earlier this morning, I discovered, maybe not this morning actually, it's probably the afternoon, because that's the only time I got to play it. I mean, the music. But I discovered something really embarrassing. And this is just fucking unbelievable. It's actually kind of insane how this aspect of my music has been compressed all this time and I didn't even realise it. Because I was thinking, my songs don't have that punch to it that a lot of songs have, where it's like kind of crisp and it does work. And I was figuring out for a long time what it could be. I did this technique that a friend recommended to me where you completely cut off the really low end and the really high end. So we're talking the 16 to 20k range and the 1 to 25 range, literally. So I've done that for years, since starting music essentially, and obviously when I got the advice, I started it then. But it did change music in a way that I didn't even realise, but it's such a huge change, I didn't actually realise how it was actually compressing my music. Because one of the other things I do with my tracks, one of the other gimmicks I suppose, is I don't use limiters as much. I only use them on vocals, but that's only so they're not too loud. They are, like, obviously being loud. So it's just to limit the volume. But there isn't really anything else I do exactly. But this thing is really annoying because I cut off I use this EQ basically on everything. But I did it on drums. And it turns out that's a terrible idea because it's been making my drums sound quite weak for quite a long time now. And it's been bothering me why they never sound punchy, and that's probably why. So I've turned them off on my 2 recent tracks and it does sound quite a bit better. I do need to balance it a bit more because I did balance it in the VST itself. It's Superior Drummer, I believe. And that definitely needs some, obviously, readjusting so that it works for other tracks too, and future tracks for other. I'll even update the EQ so it's not as suppressing, so it does still have that cut off, but it doesn't have the extreme range of it. So it should be better now. So yeah, I was trying to figure out for a long time, what the fuck is the deal with this? It turns out that might be why. So yep, that's pretty embarrassing, but again, I'm not a musician or composer. I don't really consider myself one. I do it as a hobby, but I don't exactly do it for a job, so it's not like I'm going to be called out for this by angry gamers or whoever I've written a soundtrack for. So yeah, as far as I know, it's not too much of an issue, and it didn't even really change a lot of tracks, to be honest. Because I think a lot of the thing with making music is composition, and that can often mean make or break for a lot of the tracks, especially the ones I make. And it needs to have something going on, either the rhythm or the melody or something. And with myself being symphonic metal, obviously it's important that I layer things and also have the saturation as well. And even though I've got saturation on things, it doesn't work very well, I've found. So it's kind of hard to notice it. So that you don't even notice that there is a saturation on it. That's weird, but you don't actually realise it. But it is really frustrating when I find out something like this. It's like when I first discovered the limiter and I actually overused it. I actually compressed songs to a point where you could barely hear what's going on in them, and it was really bad. But the problem is I have such a small audience that I don't really get the critiques or criticisms. I don't see them, so it's often hard to say what needs to be done. And even then, I find that there are sadly a lot of people who aren't very music or savvy in that way, I guess. Like people who don't actually do anything to do with music. Because I've always found people that have criticisms about stuff I make when they are musicians, but when it's obviously someone who's just listening to it for fun, just somehow come across it, there often isn't any response, and even then the responses I do get almost never address these points. I've had weird comments every now and then, but they're quite rare, I think. Yeah, it just really frustrates me. I didn't even realise this was happening for a long, long time. It's really dumb. I didn't even try and look at the last comments. Yeah, it's mainly just compliments. Like, nobody brings up the fact that it's like, yeah, that's just so fucking bad. Anyway, I think I also move on. Yeah, there's one. I found one. It's on like the cover of Rambam showing that. It says the application needs to be fixed, low volume. Let me see, does it? Because sometimes I get these and it doesn't always make sense. So I think headphone users will vary. Application is low, is it? I don't know. The thing is, this is just default heavier effects, so it's not even really a fucking thing that I can control exactly. So I don't even know. The mixing is awful though. It's very unbalanced. Yeah. Anyway, I better move on. So, yeah. Fine, let's stop recording button. Well, it's time to talk about the trial. Basically, I've done everything except for the MSQ. Still need to finish it, but yeah, the Unmaking. I like it. It's honestly not bad. Even though I died a few times, it wasn't a frustrating thing, it's more like a player error. And to be honest, I haven't been well today, I've just been depressed, so it's not been great. Let's go through it. Visually, it's fine, there's nothing too special, but it does get a bit freaky a bit later on. And I do like the ad face, which is pretty cool. It's definitely really unique, but ability by ability, that suck. So Meteor Rain AoE ability, that's nothing special. Naught grows, the boss faces a void gate, and direction tethers blue arrows and does a point blank AoE centered on the portal. Yeah, this one was a bit hard to read at first because I was unsure whether this was like, or is he sending us into the void, or is he like hitting us with it or something? Because I couldn't figure out. So that definitely got me, almost. I didn't die to it, but I've got very close to dying to it though, on several occasions. Cases avoid boss summons 10 orbs around it in a clockwise pattern. This was actually really cool because it actually stacks. So you see it like start from one position, then it stacks on top of the other, and then you have to figure out where to stand. So you avoid these cone AoEs, which I thought was really clever. It's a bit different to how it's usually done. It's like the cone AoE thing from like the Pisa attacks in Stormblood. Was it Shadowringers? I think it was Stormblood. Yeah, because it ended on that double boss, sort of. Yeah, I enjoyed that mechanic. It's different. It's pretty easy to do anyway. And there's deep freeze, places flare markers on each tank dealing magical damage. I didn't even see that. Naught hunts, whatever that is, tethers to random players to swap portals. Oh yeah, this one. It's kind of funny. But these portals like chase you. The portals, is it portals? Yeah, it's portals, I think. But it's like these pools that chase you and try to follow you around the map. Yeah, I think you have to run around the edge. I didn't do that, I died to it. It's quite easy to die to, but it's quite fun to see, and then it changes. So it'll target someone else. Yeah, like it says not hunt another. Then there's Shrouded Holy, targets a healer with a stack mark AoE dealing magical damage. I didn't even see that. They're kind of clever. Meltdown spawns a baited circle AoE to look after the player's position, spreading a spread marker of AoE damage. Basically, Vacuum spawns a curve line AoEs on various occasions. At the tip of each AoE is a point blank AoE, which I thought was pretty cool. It's a bit different, and you have to basically stand near the long ones to avoid it. Because I did get hit by it every time, but it was before I figured out what was going on. So I was just focusing on avoiding the trails instead, or the curved lines. And then there's Orphanor, which is just the ad phase. Yeah, it's the ad phase bit. And the ad phase is kind of cool. You've got a bit of walking, a massive map. There's like a big AoE thing at the start. And you attack the ads, and then you attack a portal back, and then into phase 2. Naught grows, avoid getting a tether boss with arrows directed towards Uno. Enuo, or Enuo, I don't know what to say. Indicating a large graph, point blank AoE centered on Uno. And there's more party-wide damage, and then I think, what's this? The vacuum's growing number. If a portal will spawn the opposite existing one in the mechanics, so okay. I'm guessing, yeah, that's Naught grows, so this is basically a second one, and it's somewhat hard to read, I will admit, but in this normal version, I'm not planning on doing extreme, just to be clear. You can actually see where Goldberg and Zero are standing, so it is actually kind of cool. Yeah, it's basically an accessibility feature, which I can appreciate. But sure, it's good, even though it's a bit hard to read, but that does help. Then there's Naught grows again, which is the arrows, is it? What's that? I can't remember now. I think it's the same thing. Yeah, same thing as the first thing. Then Naught wakes, repositions portals at the outside of the arena. I don't remember that. Does it do that? I can't remember. Then Naught grows again. Yeah, basically same things, and then a 3-hit line stack marker, which is kind of rare. And then I believe it repeats, because you get the alpha mechanic again, the AoE things that drop for the portals. Yeah, it's an alright fight. Won't diss it really, because it's better than a lot of the other ones at Dawn Trail, to be honest. My biggest problem with the Dawn Trail ones so far have been they have really difficult reads and stuff, like Bork or the door. They're pretty difficult. Everkeep I liked a bit. I think it's decent. Interface I barely remember. Recollection I remember, it's actually kind of cool. Aegis and Acropolis I don't remember. Winded Walls, oh yeah, that was the Monster Hunter one. And obviously Hill and Rails is still my favourite, I think, even though I haven't played in a while. Yeah, it's an improvement, it has to be said. I'm quite impressed. Different mechanics in a way, it's just putting a spin on them. Makes me curious what the extreme is like, but to explain why I don't do the extreme versions of these trolls, there's no fucking point. It's a waste of time. They're going to have bullshit mechanics in them, I know that for sure, and because of that I just don't feel like it's necessary to do. Even for a nice reward, I don't even want to do Hell and Rails Extreme because I'm worried it might ruin my love for the fight. So I'd rather do it unsynced and with better gear, so it's faster. So yeah, it's frustrating. And it's also just a waste of time because even then you have to do it either be lucky to get the amount that you want from it or do it 99 times with different groups. Nope. Fuck that. Fix your game, please. And then I'll play it. But no, I'm not doing that. What a fucking waste of time. Seriously. It's a shame because I would have tried them for real if it weren't for that shit, and I would have done Savage Raids too. That's why I only really ever touch on sync as an option. So, yeah. Anyway, I better move on because I've got stuff to do. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the patch so far. Well, patch overall. I don't really think I'm going to talk about the MSQ. I could talk about it briefly, I guess. There's not too much so far. I haven't completed it, as I've said. But I think it's very much hinting at there being void abilities, I think. Because we saw this in the cutscene in the trial, weirdly enough, which was a pretty cool cutscene. The girl was helping Zero using Light Cone, which I thought was neat. Also need to switch class. I definitely liked it. But I think it's definitely a teaser for... well, that. It's a teaser for fucking void abilities, isn't it? Like, there's no other way it can be, or can't be, or... and we're going to see a lot more sort of people maybe like Zero, who are void sent but are good. That's a possibility as well, so my speculation there is that's likely what's going to happen. And it's sort of a reflection of Hylas, as it says. Also, the teasers we got in the FanFest, the first one, I forgot where it is, America. But they've shown some really interesting teasers like the Giants and what's the other one? Buddy, I can't remember. The nice Giants, we've got Evangelion 2, which also kind of indicates that we're going to get massive enemies, which I'm really curious about because the last time we had a massive enemy in this game, from what I recall, was other than a Walker or Lyca sort of, it's also the Alliance raid, the Neo one. The first one, I believe, the copied factory, is it? I can't remember, it's the one with the giant boss. The actual only fucking giant boss in the game, which is pretty cool. So I do look forward to the bigger scale. And that trial is also sort of a teaser of it, I think, as well. They're showing off the much bigger arenas. So it's kind of going to be different, I think. We also haven't got anything on the Alliance. No, we have. The normal raid, I mean. So, you know, obviously there's going to be trials, but it's going to be the normal raid too. But yeah, somewhat high hopes going into 8.0 and even the future 7.5 patches here. We've still got how much left? I've got to complete the PvP profile. Still got to do MSQ, obviously. Custom deliveries, I might try the Cosmic Exploration just to explore it. And see if there's anything worth getting. There's Phantom Weapons and Hildebrand, and then more MSQ and Beastmaster. So it will be interesting. I'll probably do MSQ first and then Beastmaster, because we need time to figure out what Beastmaster is about. But I'm not holding out hopes. They completely fucked Blue Mage for Beastmaster, which is slightly disappointing, but even then I'm not a fan of Blue Mage, so I'm kind of glad that we've got an alternative in a way. And maybe that's the wrong thing to say, but I just didn't enjoy Blue Mage at all. hated collecting the smells, I hated doing the content, and it's just really showing it's really not a complete job, and then I can understand why they maybe abandoned ship, but I wish they did lore in Dawn Trail, because that would have been interesting. No, they ignored it. Just fucking insane. Unless it's somehow something to do with the Void. Blue Mage Void percent confirmed. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, let's move on. Hopefully this will be the last thing I talk about today, because I'm knackered. God, I haven't said knackered in a long time. I'm knackered about using the word knackered. Anyway, this will also be the last topic for the podcast, I think. I just noticed there's like 20 gigabytes of footage. I haven't even done this music, damn it. So, the topic I wanted to talk about. So apparently Keir Starmer is now doubling down on things like protests, like pro-Palestinian protests, and this is a thing that he's already been doing. So I don't understand what the point of this is. It's like, oh, we're arresting pro-Palestinian protesters, but now we're going to arrest more pro-Palestinian protesters. It's like, what? Like, what the fuck is this even solving? Like, genuinely, what are you thinking? Like, it's literally Donald Trump logic. It's so fucking stupid. I just cannot comprehend it. So, yeah, with this news, I also have a response and a challenge. So, we'll see. Look forward to that. But, being someone that's autistic and vulnerable, I've had to make my own, well, not necessarily living, but my own way in life and ideas and logic through the means of the internet, and being able to get to the truth of things whilst avoiding the most dangerous things. And I've been pretty successful in that in the years that I've been doing this. So I realised that in the truth of everything there is something, as in something to derive from it and something to acknowledge. And what I also realised is getting there is probably the hardest part, because you need to be able to have the truth on your side to justify something, which is why I say subjective morality is only a thing, because people pick and choose what they believe is true. And this is very much a thing that I haven't seen refuted yet, so it does make me wonder, like, how the hell can we even discover this? But when it comes to me, I'm unbiased, and I realise that this is the safest position you could ever be in. Because it means that you could even find the good things to say about even evil politicians. Like, as I said in a previous topic, Donald Trump and his administration, whilst well, they're all evil, they're at least acting more human than other politicians I've seen. As in, they've got stupid opinions and stuff, but that ability to express themselves. Admittedly, they shouldn't be using official accounts. It should be just like an interview sort of thing. But that's about the only thing I can respect. That's what being unbiased is. Even though I hate them both. Well, just Trump and the administration, really. I hate other places too, but that's another thing. But, yeah, that's like the only part where I can give credit. And that's really saying something. Because people will accuse me of being a leftist or progressive, but it just happens by coincidence that I am part of those spaces because of what the truth is. And the truth leads me to that. I'll give an example of like a truth, like for example gay rights. They are a thing. They are demonstrable. We know that people have an inherent attraction to someone of the same sex or gender, and even multiple. So we know this because in nature we can observe same-sex engagements. We see it in animals, and it's very much something you can observe in the right conditions as well, obviously. But yeah, it's like pretty much demonstrated in us as well. I'm pretty sure there's like studies going into it, but you can find things about the arousal and stuff when it comes to men watching other men, and even sometimes women watching other women. But that's very much demonstrated, and that's how we know gay rights should be a thing. And also, it isn't just arousal, it's also like romantic stuff, so kissing, hugging, or just expressing words. But that very much impacts it, and even looks as well. That goes without saying for romantic stuff. But that's how we know it's true. We can demonstrate this, we could see it clear, we could see it all. Excuse me for being out of breath, because that's what Crohn's disease does. Actually really struggling to breathe, it's weird. But yeah, as I said, the truth is really important, and my challenge to, well, not just the UK government, but Israel and anywhere else committing war crimes, obviously Russia, is basically to prove that what they're doing is justifiable. You know, why are we arresting pro-Palestinian protesters for the right to free speech based on also what we know about Palestine? Like, what's going on there? So what is the truth here? Where are the terrorism claims that you're claiming against protesters? That's what I want to know. And then I also have to ask Israel the same thing. Where's your claim that babies are terrorists? Because this was apparently another topic. How are they terrorists exactly? Then we have to ask also how even the entire population of Gaza is somehow terrorists, even the West Bank. So also, how are they terrorists, justifying your use of UK equipment, drones, weapons, to commit a genocide? And if you don't like that label, that's unfortunately what it is. Look it up. But I do not understand that where they can even get the idea that people like us, who are very much against genocide, again, I'm unbiased, so it's not even like I'm thinking, oh, I'm really emotional about this. I'm not. I can live every day fine knowing that this is happening, but I'm also worried. But it's also an attack on the truth and justification as well, for that matter. But that's what I want to know. I want to be convinced, so I don't have to say all the time that I disagree with X country, X person, whoever it is. You know, I want to know the truth. It's the same with America. I have to challenge Trump on why he thinks arresting illegal immigrants and deporting them, as well as killing American citizens for political gains or, well, obviously the misuse of power. I want to know why that's justified. What the proof is that they're causing problems for the country. And that's again another challenge. And in Russia, I guess it's like the justification of committing this war, committing multiple war crimes, and just even perpetuating this shit to begin with. Like, what is the justification? What can convince me to believe that you're on the right side of history? And that's probably the better way of putting all this. Because whenever I look at this, I think I need to know what part of this is something I'm missing, because obviously something's not right here. Either someone's hiding the truth from me, or someone's being dishonest, and that's the only two ways it can go in this situation. And again, based on other truths, the evidence, it's quite demonstrable that we can see that all the evidence leads to the current political situations that we're in are currently unjustified. It just doesn't work. I don't know exactly how to explain it. But that's literally what's going on. You know, it's just a lack of justification for all these things. But as I said, I'm vulnerable in that sense. I'm autistic. I have multiple anxieties. I've even been in special educational needs because of my learning delays, and the fact I realised this sooner than anyone else, it seems, is quite worrying, really. Because it makes me worried about how lacking in intelligence a lot of these places are, which unfortunately is the case. Because I look at these things and think, how can you think money outweighs the obvious abhorrent crimes that are going on. Because that seems to be all this is about in the end. Except for Russia, I think that's a different thing. Could be wrong on that though. But everything seems to be about money now. And I'm just sitting here thinking, well, shouldn't worry about money. Like, what the fuck is going on? We genuinely need to get rid of money. Because that's obviously the problem. We need to stop having it as a worry. Start putting things out there that we need to be careful about these things. We need to genuinely put people first, which currently doesn't happen. And because of that, that's why you have these issues here where we're arresting protesters for terrorism charges. Based on what? What terrorism? Yeah, they're not going to, I forgot what it's called outside of Parliament, but they're going to the Parliament, say, doing the protest, but you're not finding them with bombs or knives. And I'd understand if you arrest them for that. But there isn't. There is nothing like that. And it's not even been proven. There's no like, oh, we found these people with that. It's like, okay, so those people have been evil. Fair enough. But what about the others? Because even when you eliminate these risk factors, where there's like a 1% maybe have that, what about the 99%? And it's the same with Israel, as I've said with Hamas. They constantly fixate on this and become delusionists because of the fact that they obsess themselves with this and think, oh, it's always about Hamas because they started this war, they decided to pick on us. And then you do the research, you look online and you see that basically it's a very grey area because nobody's in the right. Both are just as guilty, as both doing things wrong. I think it was like Israel prompted it, basically, from what I saw. I could be wrong on this, so obviously take it with a grain of salt. And then Hamas came along, did the deed, obviously the evil deed, that matter. And then Israel obviously came up and dealt with them, and used that as a justification. Yeah, there's a thing by Double Down News, which is where I learned about that. They did a sort of mini documentary on this sort of thing. They basically explained the events leading up to it. Again, it's going to be taken with a grain of salt. I don't really care, even if it is real or not. It just matters that what's currently happening with Gaza is just unjustified. Because I get genociding them if they're actually a nation of terrorists, but we don't have proof of that. And what I want is the proof. I'm not asking for anything else. I'm not even asking for justice. I just want the fucking proof. But obviously the lack of proof leads to me saying, well, okay, you need to stop doing this. Because you don't have any reason for it. And even the United Nations understands this. Why they don't act on it, I don't know. But again, treating this as if it's like a court of law, it's obviously pointed towards that. It's pointed towards the fact that they have nothing. In fact, there's more dirt on Israel than there is Palestine. And that's just a fact. And that really shows the extent of the amount of destruction there is. And again, how a lot of these charges in the UK are just not justified, which is sad. It's a waste of resources. And then you have to also look at the fact that they for some reason arrest protesters, but they don't arrest rapists and stalkers and abusers. Like, what are these resources even going towards? I genuinely don't understand. And then, even then, if they get arrested, they get released because there's no way for them to go. And even then, if they get a charge, it doesn't even fucking matter. Because people will be aware of it. They'll see that there's like a terrorist charge in your records, and there might even be a reason with it. And they'll think, oh, did you protest Palestine? I was like, yeah. Oh, alright, you're hired. Like, nobody will fucking care. And then we get this dangerous situation where we can't take these charges seriously. So you make the world unsafe. Like, this is what I mean about getting to the truth of things. It's the boy who cried wolf. Rather, it's the kid who cried wolf. The star who cried wolf. What do you fucking call it? Just so dumb. I don't fucking get it. Yeah. Anyway, I'm tired, but that's about it for the podcast. Thanks for listening, I guess. See everyone next time.